The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives just came out on Hulu last week, and everyone's been asking me, Gwyneth, when are you gonna make a video about the show? You're a Mormon, you better have something to say about it, and you bet I do. So I have my BYU hat, and I have my BYU shirt, and I have swag, so I can be, you know, as Mormon as possible. There's been a lot of pop culture stuff about the LDS Church recently. There's that new movie with the missionaries in it, which I thought looks fun.
I want you to choose which door to go through based on your faith.
What does this have to do with us leaving?
I can't wait to do a review on that, so subscribe if you want to see more perspectives from a true Mormon. Religion aside, this show is absolutely really ridiculous, and a religious part is kind of periphery.
Mayci, I need you to twerk your ass off. Show me what you're working with.
But there is some interesting stuff I wanted to talk about. First, I'm going to talk a little bit about what the show is, and then I'm going to give you my personal takes as a Latter-day Saint. If you're actually LDS, it's really easy to tell right off the bat that these girls are not very LDS because they say Mormon, and we don't really say Mormon anymore.
I love the Mormon church.
Or are we just a bunch of Mormon women?
I am a conservative and Mormon.
Reminds me of the odd one out I saw of like 6 Mormons, 1 fake Mormon, and then the way they tell the fake Mormon is because they're the one that says Mormon, Mormon, Mormon.
You kept saying Mormon over and over again without
I thought that too.
yeah,
I really
without
thought
flinching.
And so I was one of the only Mormons there. A real good part of Mormon culture.
It's because we focused on being Christians rather than Mormons, and Mormon isn't even in the name of the church, so that's why I like to say LDS or Latter-day Saints, because at least that's part of the name of the church. I personally would say I'm Christian first. We can all be friends, guys. It doesn't matter like our religions. We are all besties, except for these girls I don't know if I would want to be friends with. Well, okay, mostly just Jessi. I don't like her. I don't know about Whitney. I don't think she would want to be friends with me. So I'm going to talk more about the religious stuff in a minute, but first let's just talk about who are the main players. To start off, the whole premise of this show is a group of women who, their moms and their wives, Secret Life of Mormon Wives, but then it turns out 2 of them are divorced, so are they wives? Unclear. And the whole show started because of this whole like soft swinging scandal where they were swapping husbands, a little weird stuff going on there. I personally do not participate in that.
It was like swapping in front of each other, standing next to each other.
The soft swinging had nothing to do with the people on the show currently, mostly with these people who were asked to be on the show.
It's very high school, like Mean Girls. I haven't seen Mean Girls, but I'm assuming it's like that. Taylor's supposed to be like the leader.
There would be no mom talk if I hadn't created it. Ever since the swinging scandal, I do feel on the outs.
The whole plot line is like, oh, we don't trust her. When they like immediately start trusting her again, the one they actually don't trust is this Whitney girl.
Whitney gets close to you until she gets what she wants.
That's not a friend.
And she gets in a fight with Taylor. Taylor's all like, OMG, why didn't you show up to my party? And then Whitney's like, oh, we're not friends. And then Taylor's like, oh. And then it's just like a whole thing.
Oh, that's sad.
She just
Layla
says
knows, I don't know.
you guys don't have a friendship, so she felt like she didn't need to come today.
I feel like this is sending a message to Taylor that she does not want to be friends and she does not care about Taylor.
And so then you're left wondering, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? Like, are they gonna be friends? Next we have Demi, who's kind of a queen. We love her.
I am 29 years old. My husband is 46. We're hot, what can we say?
She's very like, stands up for herself, like speaks her truth. Then there's Layla, who I love. She's also one of my personal favorites, really sweet.
I'm 22. I got married when I was 19, but we ended up getting divorced.
She's literally my age. Like, she's like a year younger than me, which is crazy. And she's divorced in the show, which is insane. Another one we like is Jen.
My name is Jen Affleck. I am 24 years old.
I guess she's like distantly related to Ben Affleck. She's a lot of fun. She's cool. She's chill. And she's also the most Mormon of the group. She's like the most devout. And I'm totally there. I'm very devout. I went to Swig today, and on my way I saw BYU and, you know, looked at it. I thought, you know, maybe I'll stop at the Museum of Mormon History. And then it was closed, so I couldn't go. But I have been there, so I am a true Mormon.
We were raised to be these housewives for the men.
Some of the people in the group drink and some of them don't. The ones who don't drink are like, oh, I can't believe you drink. And the ones who do drink are like, oh my gosh, just try some.
In what way do you feel like drinking helps you be a better mom?
It's just stupid because like, can't you just like respect each other's beliefs? Like, does it have to be like a fight? Well, yes, it does have to be a fight because this is Hulu. Then there's Mikayla, who's really sweet. Mikayla got married when she was like 18 years old because she got pregnant at 16. She's kind of like a background character. I don't really remember her plot line. Jessi, Jessi's actually my least favorite. I hate her. She is so annoying. Her face looks kind of fake, I'm not gonna lie.
I am definitely the one in the group that's a little more relaxed.
She's kind of like the bad influence of the group, but more than anything, she just acts like she's like literally 16 years old. She looks like she's 50, but she's actually like 30 something. It's just a lot of plastic surgery or something. I don't know.
Do you guys want to see this?
Yes. Then there's Mayci, who I think she had a plot line, but I also kind of forgot her, so it must not have been very interesting. Again, the focus was kind of on the Taylor and Whitney drama. If I'm being honest, like, it's kind of sad to see because all these women are clearly hurt in different ways. Taylor's always like, Mom, I need like more support from you. Her mom is like, you suck.
Do you think I'm a bad person for those mistakes that I did?
I don't think you're a bad person. I just think that you've done a lot of bad things and that have made you look bad.
So her mom's just like not very nice. I don't think that helps her. Taylor is in an abusive relationship, toxic relationship at the very least, and she gets pregnant with this guy, and then the guy's like, oh my gosh, like, we should get married. And then she's like, no, I can't because I don't trust you. And then her mom's like, well, why are you having a baby with him then? She's like, oh, it was an accident, but like it's really unclear if it was an accident. It just seems like it wasn't. I'm just getting that vibe.
Dakota and I didn't expect to get pregnant, let alone have a miscarriage.
The biggest reason that I'm not really offended by the show is because it's very clear in the show that these girls are not your typical LDS girls. You've got the pushback from the moms and you've got the pushback from the families, and they're all like, why are you doing XYZ? The whole point of the show is that they're not supposed to be doing these things. It is weird to see these random interjections of like LDS culture and Provo, Utah, and just Utah in general, like when they showed the Provo Temple, which actually that got wrecked down a little while back. So this was clearly filmed like a while ago. They're currently renovating that temple, so it's just kind of funny that like that's the one that's in there when that temple doesn't even exist anymore technically. Of course, there's parts where they go to Swig, they talk about Swig, they talk about soda shops.
And I started watching The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and so far I'm on episode 8, and my biggest takeaway is that we don't have a Swig, so I'm gonna make my own soda.
The reason we have soda shops is because we don't drink coffee, so we just drink soda instead. And honestly, I think we should all say thank you to the LDS Church for creating soda shops inadvertently, because soda shops are great. This is the island time. It's like Fresca base with little syrups, and it's just a lot of fun. Yeah, they talk a little about Swig. I was kind of fangirling at that part. Everyone loves Swig here. It's also funny how it's just like, they'll randomly be like, oh, we're at a church, or they'll just like mention church, but they honestly don't mention church that much. They also definitely mention garments every now and then. That's kind of a feature of the show.
I'm hosting a BYU Mormon graduation. I'm wearing my garments.
Our undergarments are a big thing. That's something a lot of people know about us. It's just kind of like a religious piece of clothing. It's kind of like a hijab or like a Jewish yarmulke. It's also hard because like, even talking about this show, because especially in Utah, there's a big culture of judgment and then like non-judgment. There's some LDS people who are like, oh my gosh, like, I don't care, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. And then there's LDS people who judge them and they're like, oh my gosh, they're such bad members, like they don't care about anything. And then there's people who judge them and they're like, okay, stop being judgmental, like let's be chill. And so it's just like all this judgment. I'm not here to say like this is how you should live your life. Every religion has people who don't follow the rules exactly. And honestly, most members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are not following the rules like exactly every single rule perfectly. The difference with our church is that you can get your membership revoked for certain things.
Have you talked to your bishop or the church about anything?
No.
How come?
I don't know, because like what if they're gonna like excommunicate me?
When you are out soft swinging, what do you expect?
It's also a big thing because after you go through the temple, it's called being endowed, which just, it's like a special ceremony. Once you do that, you're really committing, like, I'm gonna live the teachings, and they're just not really doing that, which again, like, I'm not judging, but you can get your membership revoked. A big through line with the show is like, we're trying to change gender roles or like stereotypes or something within the church, which I think is an admirable pursuit, but I don't always love the way they go about it.
We are trying to change the stigma of gender roles in the Mormon culture.
I just feel like there's better ways. There's a scene where Whitney moves into her new house and there's a bottle of champagne on the table and they're like, oh my gosh, the realtor must have left it. Like, the realtor did not leave it. They also do this big Vegas trip, which is definitely the producer's idea, which is fun for the drama, you know. Sin City, they keep saying. Every single song in the show is like, we're sinning, or like, this is unholy. There's all sorts of songs like that. It's a little bit on the nose for me personally. So why do these girls even call themselves Mormon? They're barely doing any of the stuff, which again, not a big deal, but no one's forcing them to stay in the church. No one's forcing them to be Mormon, okay? They're choosing to call themselves that. So why?
Do you want to be married in the temple still? Or is that like something you want, or?
My answer would be I don't want it. Yeah, I don't follow the rules, and that's a given.
If you don't agree with anything in the church, why are you even in it? I'm not saying like get up and leave, but who's forcing you to stay? Well, the number one reason is for the show, right? Like if they're not LDS, then how do you make the show, right? And it's just regular reality TV show about petty moms. Do these girls even believe anything? But then Jen is one of the more religious ones of the group, but she has a baby blessing, which is a pretty sweet little tradition that we have where it's just when a baby is born, you give it a little blessing, and it's kind of cute, it's kind of special. It's like, you're coming into the world, here's a blessing. Simple enough. And someone does like a testimony. So testimony is when you just say like, I believe the church is true, I believe in God. And so one of them does that, and I'm like, just like kind of shocked. That happens a lot in the show. Whenever they like say a prayer, I'm like, like what's going on? That's great. It's just like shocking that they'll just like randomly say prayers. Like, I mean, I guess that's what I do kind of, but yeah, it's a lot of whiplash like that where they're like, one minute they're like, we don't care, and the next minute they're like, okay guys, time to say a blessing. I do feel like there's the tiniest bit of sincerity in this show. I've heard rumors that some of these girls have since completely left the church, but they don't want to say it because their whole image is like, I'm Mormon, and so if they don't have that, who are they? But some of them are definitely still in it. I guess I applaud them for trying. Whether you're religious or not, it's a really interesting case study why someone would stay in a religion where they don't agree with basically any of the teachings and don't live the teachings at all in their life for the most part. Part of it is definitely cultural, but part of it is like some sort of like mind game they're playing, and I don't really understand it. So again, I could sit here all day and judge them for like, don't do this, don't do that. But at the end of the day, it's good TV, and by good TV, I mean absolutely trash. So if you're a big fan of just garbage reality shows, then this is gonna be right up your alley and you're gonna love it. Have a wonderful day and God bless.